um, as you build your business and as you're more and more successful, sometimes we tend to go away from the foundational pieces that got us there, right? And go away from the basics. And I just want to commend Laura for not doing that. Handwritten notes. I mean, I gotta tell. I was just saying to you guys. I don't know if all of you were on it, but my kids haven't realized that the mail only comes once a day, right? They think the mail comes like constantly, like email does, right? And so they're always like, oh, let's go out and get some mail. Let's see if there's any mail, right? I'm like, we already got the mail today, right? They haven't quite picked that up, even after I've told them. People are like really excited to get mail now. So it was really cool to receive that, Laura. So thank you. And I'm glad we were able to create a win-win for you. You getting an opportunity to share your story and us getting an opportunity to hear it. So thank you. All right, I am not the star of the show today, so I'm gonna make Laura a co-host so that you can do any kind of screen sharing you need to do. And I appreciate everyone joining us today. As always, this will be recorded and put on YouTube. And today the goal is to learn a little bit about how to use Facebook in your business, right? How to create opportunities, how to create an audience, and how to court that audience. So I figured there was no one better to invite into the room than Laura, and the floor is yours, okay?
All right, thanks, Bill. So I actually am going to share my screen. I have a little presentation. I am not the most Zoom tech savvy person, but I will do my best.
That is the prettiest PowerPoint that anyone in this room has seen today. I guarantee it.
Now, when I open this, I can't see you guys anymore. Can you see my Facebook marketing? Like, do you see the PowerPoint presentation? Okay, perfect.
We're all smiling.
Perfect. Well, I like not seeing myself actually on these Zoom meetings. So this is nice because I'm looking at my presentation. So first off, with you guys, I am good however you guys want to run the meeting. Bill, I don't know if when you've got presenters, you guys asking questions during the presentations? Are people putting them in the chat and then you're asking them directly, or are you asking them to hold it to the end?
Let's do this. Let's, if you have questions, then you can type in your question into the chat and I'll monitor the chat. And if anyone just can't resist and they want to raise their hand or start waving, then if
I can't see you guys, so just talk.
Just talk. I don't have everyone muted intentionally, so let's let Laura lead the show. If you have any questions, take them into the chat box, and by the time all this is over, we'll make sure everything is answered, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're just going to kind of talk a little bit about Facebook and really how you can use it at no cost to you. So there's lots of things you can do on Facebook that do cost, that the ads do cost money. We'll go over my last slide, just kind of goes over what those options are. And I'll kind of go over a new Facebook paid marketing ad that I just learned about, which I am super, super excited about. But for now, we're just going to kind of go over, what is Facebook? I get asked a lot, do you use a personal page? Do you have a group? Do you have a business page? I'll tell you a little bit about my opinion on all three. There's really not a right answer. But like Bill said, if you guys have questions, just put them in the chat and we'll just kind of go over at least what I use for marketing on Facebook. So the first question I always get is, what kind of page should I use? And the definitions that I've pulled, these are Facebook's definitions of each of these things. So your personal page is your profile page. That's where you're going to keep up with friends and family. That's where you're going to post your stuff. Most people that use Facebook for marketing, they do try to post daily on their personal page. It's incredibly interactive and it creates a social environment where you can connect with people that are friends and family. The biggest problem I find with your personal page is you can only have 5,000 friends. Sounds like a lot, but when you start accepting every realtor that you've ever worked with or every realtor in the office, that number quickly grows. And so that is probably my biggest drawback to a personal page. Your business page, it is a free place to market your business. You can market your listings. You can market vendors here. There's really no right or wrong as far as what you put on your business page. The one huge drawback to this, in my opinion, is it's less personal and less interactive. So people can't post on your business page where it shows up in your news feed. So like the other day I got put in Facebook jail because I had so many people wish me a happy birthday. I go in and I was responding to everybody's post, and Facebook thought I was spamming because I was on thank you like 158, and they were like, what, you're in Facebook jail. With a business page, people can't post on your news feed. And I find that when I'm, kind of doing my Facebook marketing, people like to interact with me. I'm not Walmart, I'm Laura. And so when they talk to you on Facebook or on social media, I think a lot of times people are looking to actually talk to you and not your business page. A group is a great place to communicate about shared interests or maybe certain types of events. A group can be anything you want. Now, I don't know how many of you guys did Mega Camp last week, but there was a girl on Mega Camp. I cannot remember her name. I am actually gonna, maybe, I've got it written down in my book. So she's the agent that was in, yes,
yeah,
yes.
Nikki Klein.
Yes, she was phenomenal. So, and I really liked what she had to say about a group, which has really encouraged me to actually start thinking about creating a group. And the biggest difference between the group and your personal page is the group doesn't have a limit on how many people can be on there. So she does all of her marketing through her group that has 15,000 people on it. So she's got triple the number of people in her group than she does, or than you can have on your personal page. And I think with a group, people are probably going to be a little bit more apt to recommend their friends to follow that group than they are to send a friend who doesn't necessarily know you to your personal page. Oh, go friend her on Facebook. Not everybody will accept friend requests from people that they don't know. And another thing about a group is you can actually collect data before you allow people in. So my assistant and I are working on hopefully rolling out a group in January. And one of the things we're working diligently on right now is coming up with a list of like 5 or 6 questions that will help us collect data. Email addresses, phone numbers. Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna say a group you wouldn't be like the Heather Fowler group. It would need to be like
you could.
Nikki's thing was Boca Moms.
Correct.
On moms, right? So it's a commonality idea, and you're just kind of the leader and the owner and the administrator, right?
Correct. Now I could have the Lerman team group, right? With the intention of that group to push out information to people about things that my team's doing. I wouldn't suggest it. I would suggest it to be something a little more general. I'm on a bunch of different mom groups, and there's all kind of data that flies back and forth on those groups. So there's, I pick up a good amount of business actually within those groups, because a mom will post, hey, I'm looking for a housekeeper. I had this happen the other day on Nextdoor. Somebody was looking for a housekeeper. I always respond in those groups with, oh, I'm a local realtor, and this is who I recommend to all of my clients. Please feel free to reach out to them. I don't ask for business. I don't give them my contact information. I just give them my vendor's contact information.
Did y'all hear that? That's like class dismissed right there. That was good.
And so the other day I did that to a lady, and it was on Nextdoor. So I have Nextdoor set up to where I get, alerts when anybody posts on Nextdoor within a certain range of my particular neighborhood. And she was an elderly lady, and you could tell maybe she was a little lonely. So she started talking to me on Nextdoor. Well, she's got an estate to sell up in Michigan. She told me a little bit about where it was. I don't have the address or anything. So I did a little bit of research on the town, responded back, was telling her, just, hey, this looks like a great place. I'd love to refer an agent to you up in the area. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. When my sister and I get to that point, we're definitely going to reach out. And so now she's in my database. She's given me her name. She's given me her email address. I know her home address. She's looking to sell her house in 2 years. One share of my housekeeper, who's phenomenal, I have 2 leads. And it cost me nothing other than probably about 3 minutes of time to respond to her, which, I think we all have, especially for new agents. And this, to me, if you take away nothing else from my presentation, this is really what I hope you take away. So People like to work with people they like, and real estate is a relationship business. So no matter what way you guys decide to go on, you know, are you using a personal page? Are you using a business page? Are you going to do a group? Just remember, whatever content you guys have up there, people want to work with people they like. They don't want to work with people who, you know, are pushy or are abrasive or abrupt. They just want to work with somebody they like. Now, do you guys have it? Because again, I can't see y'all. So does anybody have any questions about those, or want to just kind of ask me about why I use what I use or how I use that?
You're good.
No questions so far.
No question. Okay, this is so weird not being able to see you guys or see the chat. All right, so branding. One of the most important things you can do when you are working on social media is making sure everything you do is branded. That way, it's kind of like the Nike check. You see a check mark, whether it's the Nike check or not, you're probably thinking of Nike. You hear the just do it, you're thinking of Nike. You hear somebody say thank you, and you probably think of Chick-fil-A, whether they say my pleasure or not. But branding is super, super, super important when you're on social media, because the more they see the same thing, the more you become first of mind. So the first part of branding is going to be your hashtags. These right here, the 4 that I use, again, there's no real right or wrong. If you have millennial friends on your social media that have children, most of their kids have a hashtag, because hashtags are ways that we can search. So if I post something and I miss the whole hashtag Lersky life, like I get yelled at. People are like, Laura, where's Lersky life? My license plate actually says Lersky. If you know me well, you know where that comes from. And just so you guys, so for those of you who don't know, I am on my second marriage. We have 6 children. My ex-husband's last name is McCluskey, which is where the key comes from for my 2 kids. And then my husband's last name is Lerman. And we are always on vacation. We are always on an adventure. If you follow me on Facebook, it looks like I never work, I'm sure. But we were out in Washington, and a lot of times the family would say, all right, Smiths, let's go. Well, I realized that didn't work. And so it was that trip that my kids came up with the adventures of Lersky McLerman. And so we have become Lersky, and everybody around here knows me. Like, people will get behind me and they'll text me, hey, I'm behind you. I have a silver Honda Pilot, super common car, but my car's even branded. The Lerman team, I think that one's a pretty simple, explanation as to why I would use that. I put that on personal posts. I put that on business posts. It does not matter. It goes on everything. Living my best life, I think that's that's kind of a Keller motto. It's one of my favorites. And so that's why I have that up there. And then I also have hashtag realtor. Now there is an app, let me see if I can find it, that actually will give you hashtags. So if you're posting something, and we'll look at a couple of my posts, it's called hashtag inspector. So if you'll download that, open it up, and if you're making a post, let's say you're making a post on a restaurant, right? So I don't remember what day of the week it is. I think it's every Wednesday, my assistant makes a post on Facebook about where kids can eat free. So he'll open that up. He will look up, search kids eat free. That app, which is called hashtag inspector, will actually tell you the most commonly used hashtags. So if you're going for a listing, like you would just type in here, and I didn't know how to share this from my phone because I'm on my computer, but I'll kind of show you. I don't know if you guys can see it, but like if you just have the hashtag listing, there's like 20 million posts with that hashtag on there. So you can kind of flip through and see what other people are using. Because again, these hashtags are ways that millennials and younger people are searching. They're not searching how we search, I'm looking for a house in Roswell. They're looking for, hashtag house in Roswell. You want to get consistent in your message. And so if you're talking about restaurants and where kids eat free, then you want to make sure you do that on a consistent basis. I've got a post, which we'll look at here in a second, that happens every week. It's my caption this photo. It goes out on Thursdays. I have not started responding to those posts yet. but I've already got probably 20 or 30 people that have liked it or have commented on it. But you want your message to be consistent. And so, you know, my objective is to help people. My life goal is to have a positive impact on 1 million people before I die. That's my vision and that's my message. Everything I post on Facebook is either about my kids or in some way, some fashion, trying to help somebody. When I respond to Nextdoor or if I'm on LinkedIn, it's always a response to a question. I'm always consistent in what I put out there. Make your post dependable. So on Mondays, I put out the market stats, the same market stats that Aubrey shares with us on Tuesdays. I actually put those out on Mondays. Again, I have the same post that goes out every day of the week. I have the same type of post that goes out because people will start looking for that. Before I got an assistant, when I would miss a Thursday, people would be like, "Laura, where's the caption this photo post this week?" Because that's the one I kind of started with. And so just make sure you're dependable when you're on Facebook. And also you want to be on Facebook pretty regular if you're going to try to use that as a system to actually build business. Have a logo or a recognizable signature line. You guys saw mine on the very first page. This right here is something that I use for anytime I list a home. My hair was dyed on purpose. It's very recognizable. They may not remember who my name is, but they're gonna be like, you know that agent with the gray streak in her hair? I've got a nice bright pink shirt on. That was all by design. I am also having a business logo actually created right now. And so for right now, my signature line is going to be just our office logo, but my logo will be added to this soon. This is actually a picture of a post on Zillow, and this is just kind of a sidebar. So you know how we don't get our leads on Zillow. This is what my first picture on Zillow always looks like. This is what my first picture on anytime I list a house, this is what I now go to. So it's very, very recognizable. It's very dependable. So just come up with something that, it doesn't have to be what I have, just make it consistent and make sure people know who you guys are and kind of what you're doing out there. Now, do y'all have any questions about branding?
Tawantis just said, do you have a sample format of what your weekly stats look like on Facebook?
Yeah, I can show you. Remind me at the end of this and I'll show you. But if you're on the team meeting with Aubrey, it is exactly the same. I had my assistant go in and make the exact same template that Lucy did. And there's a chance Lucy would even send you guys that template. I mean, I didn't ask her to send it to me, but it's literally just a template. And then when you're in the MLS, what I did is I did a 7-day search for active, a 7-day, and this is all residential. There's no other stipulations on it. I did a 7-day search for active. I did a 7-day search for pending, and that's any kind of pending with a contingency. If it went under contract, I want to know about it. And then I do a 7-day search for closes. So when my assistant jumps in there, he literally opens that search, looks at how many are on that search, and that's all he does. It takes him probably 30 seconds to do it. And so it's a very easy, dependable search for you guys to post. But yes, remind me at the end and I will hop into my Facebook page and show you what that template looks like.
She also said, which automated tool, did I read this? Which automated tool are you using for each week?
You can read it. Thank you.
Automated tool. I don't use an automated tool. So I was doing all these posts myself, and at this point I just am busy. So my automated tool is called Cyberbacker, and it's my virtual assistant.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, something that is kind of cool, I have not figured out how to do it on a personal page, but I do know if you're posting on your business page, you can actually set those posts up to post at a certain day and time. Now, I don't use my business page much. I have found that people want to connect with me. They don't want to connect with my business. And I probably won't start using a business page until I have a bigger team. And that's the perception that I want to give people. Right now, the perception that I want to give people is you're hiring me. You're hiring me. You're hiring somebody who cares. You're hiring somebody who's going to bring value to your life. You're hiring somebody who wants to make sure you get this job done, and you're hiring somebody who has a promise to do it quickly and with the least amount of headache and for the most amount of money for you. And so that's why I use a personal page. And I don't believe, I've never found a way to be able to actually set those posts to come up at a certain time, but you can on a business page as well as a group. So you can like if you do a group, you can maybe sit down on Sunday night and pre-do each of your posts, and then it'll go out as you tell it to go out. Now I have used both a group and a page for scouts. I do prefer a group, again, just because it's more personal.
Laura,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever go to Facebook jail for posting on your personal page, your business stuff?
No, I've only been to Facebook jail because they thought I was spamming. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
no.
so you post business stuff on there without any problems at all? Okay.
Absolutely. And if you guys aren't on my Facebook page, it's Laura Sparkles Lerman. Again, Sparkles is just another way that I'm branded. There are people that call me Sparkles. And so I just went with it. It's a scout thing. I have a lot of business that comes from scouting. And so I just kind of rolled with it. And some of my true real estate clients that aren't from scouting will call me Sparkles, or they kind of pick up on it. But if you guys want to go hop on my page, you're welcome. Just send me a friend request and I'll be happy to accept it, so you guys can kind of take a look and, steal it, take it. I mean, I stole Andy and Leslie's listing presentation. I am all about sharing and helping other agents out. So if there's something you see on there, take it, use it. All right, so when you are making a post, your objective is to stop the scroll. And the reason you want to stop people from scrolling is because the more people that stop on your post, the more apt Facebook is to pick that up and to continue to show that post, right? And so if you've got posts that are very acted on, like when it's your birthday or if it's your anniversary, that's something that people want to celebrate with you. And that's why you get a lot of likes and comments on that, is because every time somebody comments or likes on it, that tells Facebook to show somebody else that post. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, and I've got a post kind of set up so you guys can see what this looks like, is add white space. The worst thing you can do for a post, you have people's attention for all of about 3 seconds. We are no better than kindergartners. We laugh and say, oh, we hope our kid will get older soon because they can sit still and pay attention. No, we don't. We don't ever grow up past that. I'm sure all of you guys have seen a post that's like this long, and you read the first paragraph and maybe the second paragraph, and by the third, I'm done reading, right? So you want lots of white space in there, because even if it's a little bit longer of a post, the more white space you have, the shorter the post looks like and the less daunting it looks like to read. Emojis, they're a huge thing. It's definitely a millennial thing. I am a first year millennial as a 1980s baby. I did not want to use them. I did not think it looked professional.
Yeah,
Everybody uses them. I mean, absolutely everybody uses them. This is a website that I use just because I do all my posting from my computer. And so it's a little bit easier to go in and find the emojis from this website, because you can go in, you just type in, happy face, and it brings up every emoji that's happy. You can type in ship and it brings up every boat. Just a super easy place to find it. You go in, you highlight, you copy paste, and you put it into your post. But definitely use it. Make sure your posts are short. Again, you've got about a 3-second time frame that people are going to sit there and read that post. So if you do have a lot of information, again, make sure you've got emojis, make sure you've got white space. That way you're stopping people's eyes from moving. You don't want their eyes to continue just keep scrolling. Tagging other people and pages in posts. So what does that look like? One of the campaigns I'm working on right now with Scouts, I am the district membership chair. And our biggest recruiting tool used to be going into the elementary schools, our DE, they're people that work for Scouts, they get paid, they're not volunteers. They go in, they do what's called buzz ups. They go into every classroom, they get the kids super excited, and we give them a flyer. Kid comes home, says, Mom, I want to join Scouts. Well, obviously with COVID, that has not been an option. This right here has been our biggest lifesaver in Northern Ridge with actually getting scouts to sign up. Because when we make the post, we go in, make it public, right? So you've got the little earth at the top or the little people at the top, make it public so that other people can share it. If you want a post to be shared, always make it public. Made it public, then we went in and we tagged the PTA, we tagged the elementary school. So not only are those posts showing up on my pages, it's also showing up on whoever's page you tag, or whatever group you tag, or whatever business you tag, or whatever you're tagging in there. So you're basically getting it out there in a lot of different places and only having to post it one time. Now, if you are tagging other people or businesses, you may want to get their permission. Most of the time, like when we do our weekly, where do kids eat free this week? We do tag the business. It's pretty cool because a lot of times the business will actually comment on that post. Hey, thanks for the, the shout out or whatever. And so, but again, just make sure you're getting permission. And if they ask you to take it down, just take it down. Add a video, picture, or link. Again, pictures and links are great. Video is amazing, right? You see a video, you're likely to stop. Whether you've seen white space, read the first word, doesn't matter. And the videos you post can be super short. So my husband and I go on date night every Thursday. I'm not as awesome about posting in that as I should be, just because I try to pick up my phone for date night. But like when we are on the lake, on the Sea-Doo, I will take like one of those 30-second hyper link videos that just keeps running that same 1 second over and over again, but super fast. Great way to get people to stop. And I'm not talking. Doesn't really matter what I look like because it's the same clip and it's a very short clip. Those are phenomenal videos because it gets people's attention. It's moving very quickly and it gets them to stop on those posts. A video also will last 24 hours, whereas a picture of a link normally only lasts about 12. So a video, Facebook makes a video higher up in the algorithm than it does the pictures. Now, this is going to be something that is going to be super personal to you guys, but you do want to make some of your posts public and some of them private. So my rule of thumb is if it's a helpful post, it's public. If it can help somebody out there in Facebook world, it is going to be public. If it's of my kids, I try to remember to make it private. But if you change a post to public, your next post will automatically default to a public setting. So just make sure if you are changing it from private to public, if you have something that you want to make private, you leave it private, because if it does have a video or a picture, you actually have to take it down before it'll let you change the post to private and then repost it. And so things again that would be public, those are going to be things like anything of value. Do you have a new listing? I have started building my referral network in other states. So I've got an awesome agent in California. I've got an awesome agent in North Carolina. I've got an awesome agent in Florida. These are go-to people that if you say you need somebody here, I know exactly who I'm sending you to. I don't have to get on command to try to find somebody. And so what I do for them is I will actually share. If they have a listing, I'll put it up on my page. And hey, great listing in California. Give Jackie a call. She's awesome. I know a lot of people. I've got friends and family in California. You never know. And so by making your business posts public and creating those type of relationships and doing it for others without asking them to do it for you, all of a sudden they start, oh, look, Laura's got a new listing in my next listing's coming up in Alpharetta. Laura's got a listing in Alpharetta, and they'll start doing the same thing. In addition to, it keeps you top of mind when you're sharing stuff like that for other realtors. It keeps you top of mind when they have a referral here in Atlanta.
So this may be a stupid question, but why wouldn't you just want everything to be public?
Well, you want my personal opinion? I don't like my ex-husband. I don't want him to see everything I post.
Oh, because he's your friend on Facebook or whatever?
No, he's blocked, but he's blocked. And if you block somebody, you can't see their page. They can't see your page. Now he could go create a fake page and see it. but I'm just a bitter ex-wife, really, and I just don't want them to have the pictures of the kids that I have.
So private is just to your network.
Correct.
Public is
Correct.
anyone that happens to be searching your profile.
Could be searching anything. So if I have a post on there and it's got hashtag Lersky Life, and somebody's looking for those type of posts, they're looking for me. My private posts, I think when those pull up, you can see like maybe the first word, but you can't really see the post. My public posts, they'll pull up and you'll be able to see all of my public posts with that on there. So a private post is going to be something that is personal to you. Now, I will tell you, the more human you can become to the public, the more people are going to be apt to follow you. And so like, you know, you want to make your posts interesting, and then don't post and ghost. And so by making your posts interesting and being human, you know, my favorite posts are the ones that are kind of funny. And I've got one that I'm going to show you guys here in a second. So a lot of times on Facebook, everybody looks perfect. Nobody's family's that perfect. I have 7 kids, for God's sakes. Like, you should, my hair's sticking up half the time, and I'm like, I don't even know what direction I'm going in because I'm moving 5 kids around still. But on Facebook, a lot of times my life looks like it's great. You know, this weekend I'll be camping with my scouts while I've got showing agents showing, you know, 2 other clients properties. I mean, you know, on Facebook you can give the persona that you want, but make sure that you're human. Make sure that you're not always showing the perfect post. And then the don't post and ghost. With that, if you make a post on Facebook and somebody comments on it, comment back. Start those conversations, because those conversations lead to real estate conversations almost 100% of the time.
Also, like, what would you say, Laura, like, I know some people probably don't think about this, but let's say that you're on vacation and you just like touch down in, you know, Tampa for a week, and you post, hey, I'll be in Tampa for a week on my kids' family's vacation or whatever. That should be private, presumably, because, you know,
Correct.
probably people that say, hey, I'm going to look for people that are on vacation so I can go rob their houses. Right?
Correct. But remember, as you grow your database on Facebook, right, the objective is to have 5,000 people on Facebook. And again, it's not the 5 that if on your personal page, it's not the 5,000 realtors that you come into contact with, because that's not going to get you any business, really. It's going to be to friend people who maybe you don't know so well. So like when I'm on vacation, I probably add 3 to 5 people to my Facebook page every time. And so even when you do make posts like that, if you want your post to be super, super private and you don't want people to know you're out of town, one good way to do it is to actually save those posts until you actually get home. And just say, oh, you know, we just went out of town here was our family vacation. That way you're back home and you're still showing the cool stuff that you did, because everybody wants to see your family vacation. I mean, we all want to live vicariously through you when you're at the beach and I'm stuck here working. I want to see that. But another thing that you can do is you can have groups within your database in Facebook. And so you can actually make those posts very specific to who they go to. So if you're wanting to share, you know, if you're wanting to do things like I'm out of town and you want to make sure that that's staying super private, you can actually go in and set it up to be going to, you know, just your friends, just your family, just the people that you actually know. Now, you know, I'll be honest, I post everything. I don't wait. Everybody knows when I'm out of town. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's a right or wrong with that. I would say whatever you're comfortable with. So now here are, which question? Go ahead.
I was just saying, thanks for commenting on it.
Yeah, so here are some posts. So this is it's time to caption this MLS listing. Up at the top, the part that says it's time to caption this MLS photo/listing, that is the same line every single week. You can see that there's lots of emojis in here. There is white space. There is a ton of hashtags, and I do have somebody tagged. So this post has gotten to be so popular that people send them to me. My assistant probably has the next 30 weeks of posts to do if he feels like using one of those pictures. When somebody sends it to me, I always thank them. Did somebody have a question? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, this looks like a Barbie dream house kitchen. It's like that pink.
Yes, and if you can see, there's 194 comments. Half of those are going to be me because I reply to everyone. And I reply to everyone within 2 hours of them commenting on my Facebook page, unless it's after 8 o'clock at night. And so we start having, you know, conversations about this. And that is what just about everybody said about this is, oh my God, is the Barbie dream car in the garage? Or, you know, this is a great house for Barbie, or, you know, your 5-year-old will love it that loves Barbie, or whatever. I do always pick a winner for this. Usually whoever makes me laugh the hardest. So, and it could be the first post. It's usually, you know, not the first post, but it usually could be the first post. And then you can see, like I said, all of our hashtags. There are my 4. And then the rest are just hashtags that Louis pulled based on using that app I was telling you guys about. All right, so this is kind of me being human. I am under contract to buy this house with one of my clients, so I'm super excited. It was not a wasted morning, but this was a condo, and they had 15-minute parking, and we couldn't find like the guest parking, but the way this building is, and it's down in Brookhaven, but the way this building is you have to get into the parking garage really to get into anything more than the 15-minute parking. And I don't know how many of you guys know this, but your super lock boxes are set on central time. So if you have your lock box set to turn on at 9 or at 8 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't turn on till 9. And so that's what happened here. We had an appointment.
Found that out. It's really bad.
Well, I am very thankful that this client, this is the 3rd transaction he's done with me. He's super patient and he's got a really good attitude, but we showed up at our showing at 8 o'clock. Got to the, if you've ever shown a property in a building that has a key fob, there's normally like some central location that every, you know, lock box is at. And we opened the lock, or tried to open the lock box at 8 o'clock. Wah, wah, wah. So we actually stood there for an hour while we were in 15-minute parking. So we waited our full hour, we just chit-chatted or whatever, waited our full hour, got into the building finally, checked our cars, nothing was on it, no boots, no nothing, went upstairs. He fell in love with the condo. So of course it was more than the average 7 to 12 minute showing. We were in there for probably 30, 45 minutes, and he was looking at everything. He was, kind of doing his due diligence. Walked downstairs, and we had these bright orange stickers. If you don't move your car, you're getting towed. Right? That was, sorry, somebody just called me. I unhooked my phone from my headset, so I don't do that again. That was something that was funny. It made me human. It was something that everybody could relate to. Most people have probably had a boot put on their car, had their car towed, or at least know somebody who did, right? So it was funny. I didn't make a post, oh, look at my happy client. He's buying a house. So I was like, oh, wah, wah, wah. We almost got our cars towed. And he had one too. So just funny, just something that kind of makes you laugh, something that makes you human, doesn't make you look perfect all the time. Now this post right here is super inappropriate, but was posted on my page by somebody who follows my caption this photo post. She did not send me the post directly. She sent it to me on my Facebook page. So that is one thing that you may want to be careful of. I'm assuming one of my settings has gotten changed, because before you can share on my Facebook page, I'm supposed to be able to approve it. So I need to go back in and check that. So I left this here for about an hour. Then I went in and I just hid it. She has no idea. Right? She thinks she did something funny. I laughed at it and probably commented, oh, Ginger, that's hysterical. Then I went and hid it. So make sure your posts are appropriate and don't look like naked men toilets. Do you guys have any questions about those posts?
I do have a question about your post, but not specifically this. You said that you're pretty active on Facebook. Are you posting multiple times a day? Do you have like a system for how many minimum you want to post?
Yep. So you want to post at least once a day, 5 days a week. That is a Facebook algorithm tool. Like that's a way to break those algorithms with Facebook and get more people to see your posts. So I have an assistant, and we have a constant post that goes up Monday through Friday. And like this post went up on September 4th. I was just showing property. My daughter played last night in her very first high school lacrosse game, and she got moved from the JV team to the varsity team. Now lacrosse is a spring sport, so she hasn't even actually tried out for the team yet. And they had, I think, 7 freshmen they are playing. They did a scrimmage game from Johns Creek against Milton last night. And so I took some short video. She did the face-off in the JV team. She actually ran frontline defense in the varsity game. And so I'll put that up. So as far as personal posts go, when something funny happens or when something cool happens, people love to hear about your kids. I mean, I think Facebook, people say that social media makes us all disconnected because we don't have conversations anymore. Like, I have conversations every day on Facebook. I'm probably more connected now with my database than I was even 2 years ago. And so I just post when I feel like it, but I do try to be present. I do try to make a personal post at minimum 3 times during the week and once during the weekend. And with kids, it's fairly easy. And my dogs, people love your pets. Like, I've got a tortoise. She's massive. She's about this big. She'll eventually be 100 pounds. People like when I post stuff about her on Facebook. Again, date night is another big personal post. People are used to that. People will call me, "Hey, Laura, where'd you go on date night the other night?" Or, do you have a fun idea for date night? Just be consistent and make sure that you're human. I mean, that's your 2 biggest keys on posting on Facebook or social media, period.
And it's also, they'll begin to respect those boundaries, right? So
Correct.
let's say you're trying to find a home for somebody and they want you to show them homes 3 or 4 nights in a row. And they're like, "Oh, I don't want it to interfere with date night now."
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And I put any client that has Facebook, I go find them on Facebook. I mean, any client out there, and not all clients, not everybody has Facebook, not everybody's into social media. But I think as time goes by, you're going to find that just about everybody is on some form of social media. Now, I don't do TikTok and I don't do Instagram. That will come. I'm just one person and I can only do one thing. And if you guys listen to anybody at Mega Camp, I think the constant message with all these mega agents is, we found one thing. Not that we don't do others, but we found one thing to specialize in, at least at first. And so don't overwhelm yourself by trying to learn every social media outlet out there. It's not necessary. All right, so some tips. When you are making a post, this right here is one of the Facebook algorithm breakers that will really help you. It's the 5 by 5 by 5 rule. And I thought that was funny because we talked a lot about 5 by 5 by 5s at Mega Camp, just in a little bit different way. So you want to make 5 posts on 5 different people's pages with 5 words or more in 5 minutes. I don't know why they don't call it the 5 by 5 by 5 by 5 rule, but they just put 3. So what that looks like, I will prepare my post, especially if it's a post I want people to see. I've got a new listing coming up because I've got a system. We take pictures on Monday, we do pre-marketing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we go live Thursday. And so on Tuesdays, once my pictures are back from my photographer, I'm going to make a post about that listing. But before I make that post, I'm going to scroll through my Facebook feed and I am going to find 5 people who did something that was interesting. I've already got my post ready. I just type it out in Word. That way I just have to copy and paste it. I find 5 people's pages to make a post on with 5 words or more. And that's where I started using my friend. "Oh, Bill, looks like you and the kids had a great time, my friend." Right? My friend hits the 5 words. It doesn't have to be super thought through. It just has to be the 5 words. You want to do this in 5 minutes or less, and then go ahead and post your post. Because all of those people that you're posting on, your post is going to start showing up in their pages, which is going to be more likely they will comment or interact with that post, which will then again put it in other people's news feeds. When you're making a post, if it's something that you are, if it's a listing that you are trying to market, post it in lots of places. Post it on a group. You know, I'm on lots of mom groups out there. Whenever I have a buyer that I need a house for, especially right now, I'm sure you guys are, you know, all finding that it's really difficult to find houses for some of your clients. I'll go in my mom groups. You know, hey guys, I've got a great client. They just moved here from Florida, or they're moving here from Florida. This is where we're looking. Do any of you guys know anything that, you know, any of y'all have any friends that might be looking, you know, looking to sell their house and maybe they don't want to go listed? I'll post it on my Facebook page. I post it. Go
That
ahead.
is so brilliant. That's like, it's like the slyest way to ever let people know that you're a realtor and that you go out of your way to help people.
Correct. Correct. I very rarely ask for business. Very, very rarely do I have to actually go in and ask for business on social media, because my objective is to just let people see my value and make them want to work with me. And Facebook, I mean, there's a bazillion people on Facebook. So even if every one of you guys did everything that I'm doing right now, I am sure that we would not overlap business. And so make sure you're posting in a lot of places. If you've got a listing coming up in Medlock Bridge and you've got a friend that lives in Medlock Bridge, you know, give them a call. You know, hey best friend, I've got a listing coming up in your neighborhood. Do you mind if I share that on your Facebook page? Do you think they're going to tell you no? Of course not. They like you. And if you're keeping up with them in your social media, they want to hear from you. They've enjoyed hearing from you. And so just make sure, again, it doesn't have to be business. It could be, you know, sometimes I'll post, again, when Craig and I go out to dinner, if we have found a really great place that has a really good dish, I'll go post that in the mom group. Hey guys, just wanted to let you know, my husband and I don't say anything about being a realtor. You know, hey guys, my husband and I went out to dinner last night. We love our Thursday night date nights. Found a new great spot in Alpharetta. Check it out. You're posting it in that group and you're tagging that business. Nobody is going to yell at you for free marketing. Nobody. Ever, ever, ever. And so again, multiple people are seeing that. Now my Facebook picture never changes. The way I make my Facebook personalized is the background picture, the banner. Right now, I think it's a picture of my kids and my husband and I from our wedding. And I don't change that often, again, because I want people, I want consistency. I want people to always be able to depend on, oh yeah, that's who that is. Be helpful and always provide value. We've kind of talked about this. This is probably the biggest tip out there. What can I do to help you? How can I bring value to your life? How can I make your life a little bit easier? Have a vendor list. If you don't have a vendor list, use one from a realtor that you know, love, and trust. If you need a vendor list, call me. You can use mine. I'm sure my vendors won't care if they get, you know, multiple posts on, you know, with free marketing, but always provide value. Stay consistent, which we talked a good bit about. Don't make it all about you, right? So you want to make sure that there are some business posts in there. You want to make sure that, you know, you're the expert of the area. So another thing that we do is we do an event post. Wendy Hamlin actually saw one of my events the other day and she sent me a message. She's like, oh my God, I wish you to post this sooner. The tickets are sold out, you know? So it brought value to her. Now, is she going to give me a real estate referral? Probably not, because she's a realtor, but it works, right? And so when you make it about your community, when you make
All right, hopefully we'll get her back in 1 second. Can y'all hear me?
a little bit about your business, you just kind of make it a nice little stew there that people, they will definitely go find you. Because I have people who text me like, hey, I hadn't seen your post in a while. What happened to your Thursday post? I was like, oh, it's there. They'll go find me. They like that post. And then I start coming back up in their algorithm. 80% personal, 20% real estate. I do get this question quite often. So you don't want to, if you're not using a business page, if you're using a personal page or a group, you want to post only about 20% of the posts need to be about real estate. The only thing that I really post that's about real estate is if it's a funny happening at a showing. I obviously have my caption, this real estate photo, and then listings. And I only post them once. I post my listing, I tag my sellers, and I actually put on that listing, hey friends on Facebook, will you please share this listing? My listings are constantly getting shared, so I don't have to keep doing it. And then your seller's going to post it, And when they ask their friends to post it, because their friends have a personal connection with that seller, their friends will post it. So it starts getting shared, pretty far down the line. Post first thing in the morning. You want as much time for that post to be seen as possible when people are awake. So if you post it like 8 o'clock at night, remember, if it doesn't have a video, it's probably going to only live on Facebook for about 12 hours. So you're getting time while everybody's sleeping. And unless you're marketing to like China, you want to market in the morning. You want to make those posts first thing in the morning. I do try to have my posts out by, I believe Louis has them out by 8:30. And then always respond to a comment with a comment. People will wish you a happy birthday, and you'll go in and wish people a happy birthday, and you get the little notification, Joe Schmo liked your birthday post. Don't do that. Comment, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was a great day. I did this, or whatever that looks like, but make sure you respond. Now, one thing that I do, and I kind of take this a step further. So I actually go through on Facebook every week, and if you have liked a post, I send you a private message. So I go through, I keep a running list of everybody who likes or loves or makes a sad face or makes a mad face, whatever emoji they use. But when they interact with me, I actually will go in and send them a private message. Now, some weeks it's super overwhelming. There'll be 200 or 300 people that I've got to comment to. Those weeks it's a generic message. Hey guys, what is the best thing that happened to you this week? I mean, I've had people tell me that, like, because of those messages, that it has helped them get out of a slump, or it just meant the world to them because they were having a really bad day. Just because I checked in. Again, I'm providing value and making sure I'm staying in contact with my database. These do count in my book as touches. Now I go, I talk to a lot of people, I take a lot of classes, and people kind of go back and forth with whether social media should count as a touch. When you're looking at your different plans, I absolutely think they count, because if you can get a conversation started with somebody, usually within 4 lines, you can slide in something about real estate, or they're going to ask you about real estate, or, what's the best thing that happened to you today? When I make that post or when I make that message, and that's what I send out just because my list is super overwhelming, like 75% of the people ask me, oh, what's the best thing that happened to you? I closed on a house for a phenomenal little couple this week. They were super excited. It was their dream house. They were first-time home buyers. Could not have been more thrilled to help them. Again, I didn't ask for business, but I reminded them that that's what I do.
Just for the record, I think that social media interactions count.
I think they do. I've had people tell me no. And I absolutely think they count. And then you want to stay away from controversial topics. Don't get on there. And, I lean pretty hard in one political realm of the world. But you don't know that based on Facebook. You might know it if you have a private conversation with me, but you're not going to know it on Facebook. I mean, I don't talk religion. I don't really get into sports. I don't talk politics. I have really stayed out of the COVID conversations. Every once in a while, somebody that I know well enough to maybe make a comment on their page, I'll say something. But for the most part, my page is completely just light and fun and silly. And it makes me look human, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be like my mother, who all of a sudden has lost her mind on Facebook, and everything she's posting, like, I'm like, Mom, like, she's losing half her friends because it's gotten so controversial on her Facebook page. And so just keep it light, keep it topics that people want to talk about and that aren't going to bring up ill feelings for people. Now, I did post something the other day that was maybe borderline controversial, but the first part of it was like, both sides, no political opinions here. This was just funny. And it was something like, and it was a public post, and it was something like, I now understand why pictures of people during plagues are fat women with no bras, or something like that. And it made it public. There was one person, everybody laughed. It was super hysterical. We had a great time with the post. There was one person who posted, and I don't know who she is. I have no clue who she is. It was a public post. I no clue. But she's like, I don't get it. Why is this funny? I just didn't even go there. I didn't delete it. I didn't respond to it. She doesn't know who I am. I'm not going there. I don't want to open up any kind of dialogue where somebody can get in an argument on my Facebook page with myself or with anybody else.
So there's a question about, is this your private real estate group page where you refrain from commenting about other areas, or your personal as well?
Other areas of what?
I guess controversial things.
I don't post anything controversial. Right now, I only have a personal page. I'm in the process of collecting data because when I roll out my group, we want to roll it out with a Facebook event. And so my assistant and I are in the process of kind of in data collection mode to make sure that, we have probably the first month of content and an event that'll attract a large number of people.
Okay.
Instead of, I want to roll out kind of with a larger group size, if at all possible. And so I've been brainstorming with my MAPS coach and looking at a couple different opportunities or options of things to do. First-time home buyer event would be a good one to get, first-time home buyers on the page. But do I want to market just to first-time home buyers? Probably not. And so we're just brainstorming and trying to find other ideas on how we can do a Facebook event that would market to the masses, just so that we have hopefully a lot of traffic kind of on the onset of the group. I don't want the ball to be very heavy and to roll slowly at first. I like things to move quickly. And again, be human. We're not perfect. It probably takes you 15 pictures to get to the perfect picture where your hair's flat and, you look nice. And I know when Rachel was doing my headshots, we probably took 400 pictures, right? It's funny to post the bloopers, right? You can still post your good one, but it's funny to post the bloopers. My stager, I don't know if you guys use Desiree at all, but she's fabulous if you don't. She's in the process of starting to grow her Facebook followers right now, and just her social media period. I think she's doing Facebook and Instagram, and she had some cameraman followed her around a house. I think she was kind of like, I don't even know what the commercial was supposed to be. She just posted her bloopers and it was hysterical. It was a minute of like 2 to 6 second clips of her being like, hey, my name's Des. What's my name again? Right? So just be human. We're not perfect. We don't live the life that we like to portray on Facebook, and people like to see that. Now, online advertising, and this is what I am uber excited about. So, number 2, the paid Facebook ads, the video ads, photo ads, slideshows, carousel, canvas, dynamic banners, news feeds, those all go off of location and keywords. And when I say location, you can, like, if you're marketing an open house on Facebook, you have to go out 20 miles. It used to be a much smaller search radius that you could do, but no longer is that an option. Geofencing now makes it an option. Bill, have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so geofencing is, instead of the people searching and Facebook pulling an algorithm based on how they search and putting their ad in their Facebook page based on keyword searches, it does it solely by where they are. So you drop a pin, you can actually keep that pin as tight as 1 mile, which is what I like about it. So like if you're advertising, you're looking for a seller in an area, or you're looking for a house for a buyer, and so you're looking for a listing for this particular buyer, and you are looking in Medlock Ridge, you can drop a pin in the middle of Medlock Ridge's neighborhood, search 1 mile out, and anybody that drives in that geo fence will see your ad on Facebook. So instead of trying to guess, what are these sellers selling their house, what keywords should I use, when you are really trying to target a market in a certain area, geofencing is 1,000% the way to go. Now, I don't know a ton about it. I'm just kind of learning, but I did want to let you guys know that is definitely an option out there. And so if you've got an open house and you want all the neighbors in that neighborhood to know that you've got an open house this weekend, run a $20 geofencing ad where open house this weekend, run it for 3 days, do 20, 30 bucks. All the neighbors that are on social media or on Facebook will see it.
I said wow to that. That really impresses me.
It's very cool. It's very cool. So I actually learned about it as the membership chair for Northern Ridge. National BSA is doing this for each of their larger councils, and Atlanta Area Council is a pretty large council. And I was like, hey, what is that? Like, can you explain this to me? And so it is a very cool tool. I have not started using it, but it is a very cool tool, because if you advertise on Facebook any other way, you got to go 20 miles out, and you could be wasting money in hitting people that aren't relevant. And a lot of times we're really looking for people in a certain area.
It's such a smart workaround for, like, the discrimination topics that made them have to make that change, right? Oh my God, I just texted Luth. I said, I want you to be a master at geofencing Facebook by Monday.
Yes, yes. Now, like I said, I don't know much about it. There's actually a girl at the Atlanta Area Council. I just did a very similar presentation for the other districts, because our district's kicking butt on recruiting this year. And it's mainly because of our online platform that we're using with social media. But they had Courtney do the geofencing part. And I was like, oh, Courtney, we need to have a meeting, just the two of us, because it is such a cool product.
Yeah, I'm like gonna drop a pin right in the middle of every real estate office in town and be like,
Sure. Sure. I mean,
there's
even
so
if
much
you were
potential with
looking,
that. That's awesome.
yeah. And even if you were looking to build like your referral, I didn't mean to open that. I mean, let's open Facebook, because y'all had some questions about my Facebook. Even if you were looking to find a local realtor in another area, right? Like, you could drop a pin right around their office. If you get on command and you're like looking to see, okay, what area are most people moving from to Atlanta? Let's say it's a place in California. You could find that local realtor's office or real estate office in California where people are moving from. You could drop that pin and you could run an ad, and you would guarantee any realtor that went to their office would see that ad, because it would come in their search.
And I'll take anyone who knows what city the most referrals are coming from to Atlanta right now. I'll take you out to lunch. Who knows the answer?
I cannot say that I do, Bill.
Anyone know?
New
I
York.
looked up yesterday.
New York, yeah.
New York City.
Nope.
I would think
Somewhere in
maybe
Alabama.
someplace in Florida.
Nope. Who wants
Alabama,
Mr.
somewhere in
Taco?
Alabama?
Nope.
Minnesota.
Carolina.
Somewhere in
Nope.
Minnesota.
Nope. Tucson,
tell us.
Arizona.
Tucson,
Wow.
Arizona.
Wow.
That's random.
And second place is Prescott, Arizona. And third place is Scottsdale, Arizona. So Arizona's got something going on where they want to be in Atlanta.
Do we know what the drive behind that is? Is there like a big company that's a Fortune 500 that's here that's moving employees?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Because if that's the case, then we just need to figure it out and call the company.
Well,
Be their reload agent.
There's opportunity with almost every piece of data.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you guys were asking me about some of my posts. So this was a post from this morning. It's my kids. I've already got 48 people on here that's liked it. I've got 11 comments. Obviously, I have not responded because I've been working. This is my caption, this MLS. So this went up 3 hours ago. Somebody asked me if this is a real picture. I have no idea. There's a Facebook page that says it's called Bad MLS Photos, and that's where a lot of these come from. Agents are out viewing property, and they snap a picture and just share it on there. It's kind of a funny
Saw that one the other day.
Facebook. You did. So here is so yesterday, I don't think I posted anything personal. I did not. So here's my Miller's Ale House. You can see like one person like this. It's a newer post. This is something, being consistent every day of the week is fairly new, because I just got Louis as a personal assistant about 2.5 months ago. This is one of my vendors. So he is my security guy. So he posted on here. His wife liked it. It was one of my best friends. Her birthday was in September. She passed away due to COVID. Here's the post that you guys were asking about. So that's what it looks like.
And where
Just
did you say you got this template from?
So I had Louis make it, but if you go and look at the I'm sure Lucy would send it to you, but he made it in
Command.
Canva, I think, actually.
Oh,
The
really?
command.
This is exactly like something I do. That it's
It comes out of command.
exactly, yeah.
You could do it in either place for sure. I just sent him the one that Lucy made. And I said, I want this to look exactly like this. I don't know where he made it.
Okay. I like the squares and the red and the black. So I'm just.
Yeah. And again, it's super easy, right? So I just have it here in Matrix.
Yeah. Yep. The data part. Yeah. It's just.
Right. And I have it in a save search. So you got pending listings, closed listing, and he just comes in here and results. And there is,
Right.
you know, in the last 7 days, there's 1,482 new listings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, this was a fun one. So I went on a listing appointment the other day and I had somebody actually make me a full meal and dessert. Yes, I will get the listing. We're not ready to list just yet, but yes, it'll be a sale and purchase, and we will. She's got like 4 people she wants to refer me to.
I love that.
Yeah, so it was expired. So call your expired leads, guys. That was an event, and again, these are things that are not getting a lot of attention because they're relatively new to my Facebook page. And we've got to figure out, it's a little bit of trial and error. We've got to figure out what kind of events does my database want to see. I posted one a while back that was at Avalon. That one got a good bit of attention. And there's all my, this is what put me in Facebook jail. I had, oh no, it doesn't tell you. I had like probably 200 messages, and you can see I spend time and respond to everybody, but I didn't get on Facebook on my birthday. So I was responding, one after the other, after the other, after the other. I got to like 158 and wah, wah, wah. I was in Facebook jail. That's a GIF. So, right, it's a video. It makes you stop. You see all my emojis. This was just a conversation between Jordan and I. It is a bit of a long post, but you can see there's white space. You can see it's dialogue. Jordan my daughter had basically compared American Bandstand to TikTok is what happened while we were watching Dirty Dancing. She's like, what is that, Mom? Why is it on TV? And I was like, oh, well, that's how people, shared stuff. It had to be live TV in the time. She's like, oh, that's like TikTok. And then we had a conversation about Marty writing her letters to the soldiers. And she's like, oh my God, like they had to mail them. And it took like 2 or 3 weeks to get the mail. Like how'd you even have a conversation? I was like, well, you wrote 2 or 3 pages, Jordan, not, hey, what's your name? Like kids do nowadays. She goes, oh, I'm so glad I didn't live in those times. Right. Just a funny conversation. And again, who's not going to stop on something that's got Danny and Sandy rocking it out at the dance at high school? This was a good one last week. I don't know if y'all saw this one. So this was a caption, this photo, 72 comments. I don't know who puts a bathroom at the top of the stairs, but people do. This is something else that tends to get a good bit of attention is time hop photos from when your kids were smaller. So if I had the sound on, you'd hear she's saying that she's playing in a muddle. So that was kind of cute, 15 comments. That's kind of it. That's really all I got.
One thing I want to
have any questions?
One thing I want to point out that is so obvious.
Bill, I couldn't hear you if you're talking. I could see your mouth moving.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. One thing that is very obvious with you, and I just want to make, first of all, thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to work with us here today. One thing that is so obvious when talking to you is just how thorough you are with your planning and your foresight, right? Nothing is being done spontaneously at all. Not to say you're not spontaneous, but from a business perspective, everything is very, very well calculated, right? And you have a very intentional approach to how you're going to use this tool. So that's going to go a long way. And I think that's awesome. So congratulations on that. And you're seeing the results. right? When you think things through and you're planning and everything is very well thought out, you get great results. So great job. Who has some questions?
I just wanted to say it's a small world. I know those three ladies, and I know you all there, Kim, and I can't remember the other girl's name.
Andrea?
Yeah.
Those are my best friends.
Really? Yes, I love Andrea. We were all in a group together at Lifetime. That's so funny.
Oh, you were in the workout group. I know of the group very,
Yes,
very
I'm
well.
sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Uh-oh.
That's hysterical. I'll have to let them know that you were on my call today.
I have a question, Laura.
Mhm.
I was just observing how many friends you have on here, right? And I have a personal page and a business page. And like you were saying, my business page just don't get a lot of activity, but I have quite a few friends on my personal page. But what I'm noticing is I get a lot of friend requests from people I have no idea who they are because they're friends of someone else. And it kind of makes me eerie about accepting that in my personal page. How do you handle that?
So I had the very same feeling when I first started. I was like, this, because I was very late to the social media game, right? So like MySpace was around when I was in college, and I did not do MySpace, right? And that's kind of where social media began. Then I started this. I am a divorced mother. I do have an ex-husband who will take data and he will twist it. I mean, I'm in the middle of a case right now with him after 12 years of being divorced. I'm like, really? Like, really? We're doing this again? But one day I just said, you know what? I am a public figure. I mean, as a realtor, that's what I am. And if I want to be, you know, a Mark Spain, like everybody in Atlanta knows who Mark Spain is, right? Like everybody knows that face. Now he's moved away from the Keller Williams way of not paying for advertising and marketing with billboards and stuff. But I just said, you know what? I'm just not going to post anything that I would be uncomfortable if my ex-husband saw. And I'm not going to post anything that would, you know, that would put my kids in danger. And I kind of go a lot of times by the same rule that I give my kids, like, don't put your mailbox number in the post. Don't,
Right.
you know, so I was very, very, very hesitant as well. Now I will tell you, when it comes to realtors, sometimes most of the time I will accept your request, but then I kick you off because I don't want a Facebook page filled with realtors. It's nothing personal, but my objective is to have 5,000 people on here that are going to potentially bring me business in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, thank you. That was very helpful.
And do you create lists so that, this is going to sound horrible, but like, for example, if I friend a realtor and I kind of want them to see my stuff, you know, but I don't necessarily need to see what they're eating for dinner every night. Like, do you create a bunch of lists so that you can, or do you just let it be?
I just let Facebook be very organic and let it happen as it happens. Now, there are people that I feel guilty that maybe are family members, and I will hide their posts because it's just, if it's somebody that I know is not going to bring value to my life, and them being on my Facebook page is really not bringing value to their life, because, you know, I have an aunt who's kind of bitter, and her feelings would be hurt if I kicked her off. I hide her because I don't want to respond to her page. But there's very, very, very few people that I have hidden. Most everybody on here is somebody that I'm going to know, love, and trust, and that I've met in some way. And I actually do try to be relatively purposeful about keeping up with people in other states. Like, so if I met you on vacation, I interact with you. You know, if I met you, there's a lady, and it's been a great system. There's a lady who used to live in Atlanta. My husband and I dive. We were on a boat. You know, and of course you're on the boat with, 10 to 20 people waiting to get to your dive spot. Start chit-chatting with them, decide to become friends on Facebook. She posted something one day, and I was in the middle of planning a STEM event for the entire district for my Cub Scouts, and I needed a speaker. And what she posted, I was like, oh my God, she may know somebody. Called her or sent her a message on Facebook, and she knew like the perfect person for these kids. And this group came in, they brought water samples. I mean, it was amazing. Like, it was a great connection for me to have. And so I do try to stay in touch with people who don't know and love me. That's probably the people I'm most purposeful about on my Facebook page. Now, again, I get a lot of requests from vendors in the office. I always look to see who they're friends with. You know, I have 2 plumbers that I know and I love, and I'm probably never, ever going to deviate from referring those 2 people out. I don't need 5 more plumbers on my page unless they're friends, unless there's a reason for me to have them. So that's kind of my rule of thumb of how I let people on and how I don't. And then, like I said, I will go through and I will clean it up. And the way that I clean it up is I check to see who we're friends with. And so if it's, you know, if it's a whole bunch of realtor friends that I know and we're actually friends, like Bill, you're on my Facebook page, you're probably never going to get kicked off because we're friends. Like, we would go to dinner.
Hey, we can go diving together.
We can. We can. I should be diving in 2 weeks, but of course COVID screwed all that up. But I do go through and keep that clean, because again, at the end of the day, I mean, there's what, 1,000 realtors between our 3 legacy offices. You don't want 1/5 of your Facebook page bogged down with them. They're lovely people. No, you know, nothing personal. It's business.
Well, I want to be respectful of your time. You've gone over. We're much appreciated. And
I have time for a few more questions. I actually time blocked till 12:30. So if I'm good if y'all are good, but if anybody else has any other questions, and if y'all have the time, though, I didn't know what time y'all went through.
I mean, if people need to hop off, they can hop off. If they have a question for you, please don't hesitate. Anyone? All right.
Just one, can I ask one question, Laura? When you talk about hiding people as opposed to blocking them, is that the same thing, or is?
No, it's different. So when you block somebody, like, let me go to my newsfeed and see if I can show you. So like, let's say I didn't want to see Fran's post, and she's fabulous, and I always want to see her post. So I can go here and I can hide her post.
Okay.
I can unfollow her, but we're still friends. So or I can snooze her. Like, let's say it's getting close to elections, somebody like my mother, who I know and love, and I want to see her post after November, but right now her posts are like, can make me vomit. I can hide her for 30 days. And so if you choose one of these options here, they are still friends with you, and they have no idea that you hid their post. They have no idea that you set this up.
Okay.
If you block them, they cannot see you. I'm sorry, Bill, what was your question?
Do they know if you unfollow them?
Not if you do it from here, right? So you just stop seeing her post, but you stay friends. Now, if I was to go in here and I was to unfollow from here, I think that does the same thing. If you unfriend, that's when they are no longer friends, and that's what they can see is this friend one here.
Okay.
And then if you block them, then they just can't find you, but you can't find them either.
But they don't get a notification that they've been unfriended. That just one day they'll go, what happened to Sparkles? And
Correct.
Then they'll look at her stuff, and they're not friends anymore.
Yep.
Correct.
All right, that explains it.
All right, so everyone go friend Laura on Facebook.
I did, Laura.
You might be immediately snoozed, but you'll at least get to see what she's up to. This is great. I'm so grateful for you coming in and sharing some of your successes, and you're welcome back anytime. You have impacted another 8 people.
Awesome. See this guy here? This is somebody who I'm not going to confirm. We have nothing in common. Like, I have no idea who this person is. So I don't accept people like this. And know that the more active you get on your Facebook page, I probably get 20 friend requests a day.
This guy's trying to sell something.
Probably.
You can see free
He is,
training
yes.
or something over there.
Get leads while you sleep.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
day.
Thank you, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. Bye-bye.
My
Thank
pleasure,
you.
guys. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.